They say patience is a virtue, but patience is also the quickest way to waste your best years on a man who will never commit. When it comes to rich, high-value men, most women fall into a silent trap. They wait, hoping he'll wake up one morning and realize she's the one. They wait, thinking that loyalty, devotion, or endurance will translate into a proposal. But here is the forbidden truth. Rich men don't propose because of time. They propose because of pressure, psychology, and fear of losing you. Let's break this down. Rich men live in abundance. That means they have options, distractions, and endless temptations. A man who has everything is never in a hurry to give up his freedom. Why would he be? Most women cling. Most women beg for scraps. Most women give everything too soon, and by doing so, they eliminate urgency. This is why the first secret is this. If you want a rich man to propose, you must create urgency. You must make him feel that keeping you is not guaranteed, that access to you is scarce, and that your presence is temporary unless he acts. Think about it. Luxury goods rise in value because they are rare, limited, and hard to obtain. Women who want commitment must operate the same way. Scarcity equals speed. Scarcity forces decisions. Scarcity transforms a someday into right now. But how do you manufacture scarcity without being obvious? The mistake most women make is withdrawing in a way that looks like manipulation. Rich men are immune to cheap games. If you vanish suddenly, he will simply replace you. If you nag about marriage, he will feel trapped and pull away. The real strategy is more subtle. You must prime his fear of loss while feeding his desire for permanence. This means giving him just enough of the experience of exclusivity without handing over the guarantee. He must feel the pleasure of your devotion, but the risk of your absence. That tension is the pressure cooker that leads to a proposal. And here is where most women destroy themselves. They confuse intimacy with leverage. The more you give, the less leverage you hold. If you're already living like his wife, cooking, cleaning, investing emotionally, and especially giving him unlimited intimacy, why should he marry you? You've already given the benefits without the contract. Commitment is not a reward for loyalty. Commitment is a prize for risk. Men propose when they feel they will lose something extraordinary if they don't act. So the first law is this: never give him the full experience of marriage until he actually marries you. Now, let me ask you a dangerous question. Are you behaving like a wife without being one? Do you answer every call, cancel your plans for him, forgive every disappearance, cook, clean, or play therapist at the cost of your own energy? If yes, then you are trapped in the unpaid wife role, the limbo where countless women wait for years while the man enjoys freedom. Rich men know this game. They know women hope time will convert into commitment, and so they string them along. But here's the twist. The longer you wait, the less likely he is to propose. Why? Because waiting signals weakness. Waiting shows him you are available on his terms. Waiting kills the sense of urgency. If you want to flip the script, you must change the frame. He must not see you as grateful to be chosen. He must see you as dangerous to lose. That is the psychology of commitment. It's not about making him love you more. It's about making him fear life without you. Love makes him desire you. Fear makes him commit to you. And now comes the forbidden tactic. The proposal is not about romance. It's about negotiation. You must negotiate without ever looking like you're negotiating. You must position marriage as the only way to truly secure you, without begging, without threats, and without ultimatums. It's an art of suggestion, of boundaries, of subtle removal of privileges. Do you see it now? Rich men don't avoid marriage because they don't love you. They avoid it because they can, and as long as they can, they will. Your job is to make it impossible for him to delay without consequences. In the next section, I'll reveal the 3 exact triggers that make wealthy men move from endless dating to urgent proposing. These are not theories. They are patterns repeated in every power marriage you admire. Miss them, and you'll waste years. Master them, and you'll collapse his timeline from someday to right now. Now that you understand the psychology of commitment, the balance of desire and fear, it's time to uncover the exact triggers that make a rich man speed up his timeline. Because here's the truth. Wealthy men don't think in terms of soulmates. They think in terms of opportunity, leverage, and legacy. If you want him to propose, you must learn how to activate his urgency in ways that feel inevitable, not forced. Trigger 1. The aura of replaceability. Most women think they should prove to a rich man that no one else could ever compare to them. They make themselves indispensable, thinking he'll be too afraid to let them go. But in reality, this kills urgency. Why? Because if he believes you would never leave, he has no reason to act quickly. He knows he can coast. He knows you'll still be there tomorrow, next year, or 5 years from now. The true power lies in reminding him, subtly, that you are not irreplaceable, that you are admired, desired, and potentially sought after by others. Not through bragging, not through obvious jealousy games, but by cultivating your own life so fully that he sees, without you saying a word, that you could move on. Picture this: a woman who never cancels her commitments, who always looks radiant when she walks into a room, who still attracts attention wherever she goes. A woman who nurtures her career, her friendships, her passions. A woman who could disappear tomorrow and be caught up in another orbit of power. That is the woman who collapses timelines. She forces him to ask himself, what if she doesn't wait? What if someone else secures her first? Trigger 2. The hint of withdrawal. Withdrawal is dangerous when it looks like a tantrum, but when done correctly, it's irresistible. It's not about ghosting or punishing. It's about calibrating your presence so that he feels the value of your absence. This means you don't always accept last-minute plans. It means you don't always stay the night. It means sometimes you choose your own schedule, leaving him with a taste of what life feels like without you there. And that taste creates urgency. When he begins to feel the emptiness in the spaces where you once were, he will rush to fill it, not with gifts or promises, but with a desire to secure you permanently. Trigger 3. The legacy frame. Rich men don't just think about love, they think about legacy. A man who has built wealth is obsessed with what lasts beyond him. This is why the idea of marriage appeals to his deeper instincts. It's not just about romance, it's about empire. Your role is to frame marriage not as a trap, but as the natural extension of his empire. Not as something you need, but as something that cements his legacy. You become the queen beside the king, the finishing piece of his dynasty. This is subtle, but powerful. You don't say, I want to get married. You say, a man like you deserves a partner who amplifies his vision. You frame yourself as the missing structure that transforms him from wealthy bachelor into respected patriarch. And once he sees you through the legacy lens, the clock starts ticking, because he knows that delaying too long could mean losing the one person who elevates his name into history. Combine these three triggers, replaceability, withdrawal, and legacy, and you collapse his timeline. You transform the proposal from a casual thought into an urgent mission. But collapsing his timeline is not enough. You must also avoid the hidden traps that cause rich men to run, even when they are close to committing. In the next section, I will expose the 5 deadly mistakes that women make. The mistakes that guarantee you will never see a ring, no matter how much he adores you. Avoid these and you remain untouchable. Commit them and you become another forgotten story in his past. Women often believe that being the good woman is enough to secure marriage, but rich men do not propose to the good woman. They propose to the woman who never makes the 5 deadly mistakes that kill urgency. Let's go through them one by one. Mistake 1. Acting like the wife without being one. We touched on this already, but it must be repeated because it is the most common trap. If you are cooking, cleaning, organizing his life, living at his house, and giving unlimited intimacy, then why should he marry you? He already has the wife experience, but with no contract, no commitment, and no consequences. Remember this rule. If he gets everything for free, he will never pay the price of commitment. Mistake 2. Begging for reassurance. The moment you begin asking, "Where is this going?" or "When will you propose?" you destroy your leverage. Rich men do not respond to pressure that feels like begging. They respond to pressure that feels like loss. Asking makes you look insecure. Withdrawal makes you look powerful. Mistake 3. Open competition. With other women. Jealousy is poison when displayed openly. Flaunting other men or accusing him of cheating only lowers your value. Remember, the aura of replaceability comes from self-sufficiency and confidence, not from playing games. A man of status can have any woman. What makes you different is your ability to suggest competition without ever looking desperate enough to orchestrate it. Mistake 4. Overinvestment in his world, neglect of yours. Many women lose themselves in a rich man's orbit. They cancel their passions, abandon their goals, and revolve entirely around him. This may look like devotion, but to him, it looks like dependency. And dependency is not attractive. It is suffocating. The more independent you are, the more desirable you remain. Mistake 5. Threatening ultimatums. Some women try to force a proposal with ultimatums. Marry me or I'm gone. While this may work on average men, it backfires with the wealthy. Why? Because rich men have endless options. If you threaten to leave, he may simply let you go. The art is to create consequences without threats, to make him feel the possibility of loss, not to scream it in his face. These 5 mistakes separate the women who wait 10 years without a ring from the women who receive one in less than 2. But if mistakes kill commitment, what secures it? In the next section, we'll uncover the forbidden tactics, the subtle negotiations that transform a rich man from cautious bachelor to desperate fiancé. These are the moves that work silently, invisibly, but irresistibly. Here is the deepest secret. The most powerful women never demand marriage. They position it so that the man believes it was his idea all along. This is the art of silent negotiation. Step 1. Control access. You must regulate what he gets from you. Rich men are used to instant gratification, food, travel, luxury, women. The one thing they cannot resist is the woman who doesn't give it all away. This doesn't mean withholding affection or intimacy entirely. It means creating a rhythm of presence and absence that keeps him slightly unsatisfied. He must always feel there's more to earn. Step 2. Mirror his language of legacy. Instead of saying, "I want marriage," you speak in his frame. If he talks about his business, you say, "Every empire has a foundation." If he talks about travel, you say, "Even kings need a queen beside them." You plant seeds that connect his ambition to permanence with you. Step 3. Introduce the subtle rival. Not a man, never openly, but another path for yourself. You mention opportunities, travels, or moves that suggest you could vanish into another life if not secured. This forces him to see marriage as the way to lock you in. Step 4. Reward his moves toward commitment. Every time he takes a step, introducing you to family, talking about the future, showing exclusivity, you reward him with warmth, attention, and intimacy. This makes him associate the path of commitment with pleasure. Step 5. Withdraw when he stalls. When his actions slow, you slow down as well. Less availability, less energy invested. This isn't punishment, it's calibration. He feels the difference, and it pulls him back on track. Through these steps, marriage becomes his idea. He begins to frame it not as something you want from him, but as something he needs to do for himself. He believes he is the one choosing, when in fact, you have guided him every step of the way. And once the idea is in his head, it must be sealed. The next section will reveal the final stage, how to engineer the proposal itself, the moment where he not only decides, but acts. Most women think proposals are spontaneous. They imagine he wakes up one day and decides to surprise her with a ring. This is a myth. Every proposal is engineered. The only question is, by whom? If you want a rich man to propose, you must guide the path. Here's how. Anchor the timeline. Without ever asking directly, you create natural checkpoints, vacations, birthdays, milestones. These are the moments when proposals traditionally happen. You subtly plant expectations around them, not with words, but with actions, like hinting at what you'll wear or dropping comments about memories made. These anchors become opportunities for him to rise to the occasion. Surround him with influence. Rich men care about reputation. If his inner circle begins to see you as his partner, the pressure mounts. You integrate yourself with his friends and family. You leave traces of permanence. This isn't manipulation. It's environment design. The more others see you as his future, the more he feels compelled to make it official. Raise the stakes of waiting. Without threats, you quietly escalate your own path. A move, a project, a trip. Things that subtly suggest you are not on pause, that if he doesn't act soon, life may carry you forward without him. Be unpredictable. The most dangerous woman is the one who cannot be fully read. A little mystery keeps him off balance, and off balance means urgency. He wants to secure what he cannot fully control. These tactics converge in one outcome. He begins to feel the weight of delay. And when delay feels heavier than decision, the proposal happens. But there is one more layer, perhaps the most important of all. Once he proposes, your work has only begun, because the true question is not, how do I make him propose? The true question is, how do I make him stay married, loyal, and invested forever? That's the final secret. Congratulations! You've received the proposal, but here's the forbidden truth. Many women win the ring, but lose the marriage. They secure the wedding, but not the investment. A ring is not the end of the game. It's the opening move of a lifelong strategy. The first rule: never relax into complacency. Marriage is not a guarantee. It is a contract. A rich man can still leave, replace, or retreat. You must continue the same dance of desire and fear, even inside the marriage. This doesn't mean living in paranoia. It means never letting him forget that you are valuable, independent, and admired. The second rule: keep your own power. The most respected wives are not just accessories. They are forces in their own right. A career, a reputation, a network. These are shields. They remind him that you are not trapped, that you are with him by choice, not by necessity. The third rule: control the narrative. In elite circles, perception is everything. You must curate your image as his perfect partner, elegant, discreet, supportive, but always with a touch of mystery. Never overshare. Never let scandal touch your name. Your image becomes his crown. The fourth rule: balance, reward, and scarcity. Even as his wife, you must not overgive. Too much availability kills desire. Too much dependence kills respect. Your value remains highest when he knows you can walk away richer, stronger, and still desired. The fifth rule: invest in legacy together. Remember the legacy frame. It doesn't end at the proposal. It continues into children, philanthropy, business, and social influence. You become the architect of his dynasty, and in doing so, you secure your own. This is the forbidden path, not just winning the proposal, but mastering the marriage, because in the end, the proposal is not the prize. You are the prize. The ring is merely the recognition, and when he finally kneels with it in his hand, he is not giving you security. You are giving him permanence. That is how you make a rich man propose fast, and how you make him remain yours forever.